Hello, music lovers. Here we are, 2025 October, working on Chopin's C-sharp minor etude. We're gonna see if an old geezer, 64 years old, can get this baby into top shape by December, playing it at tempo, which is the speed of light for this etude with 0 mistakes. So, my name's Roger Milky, if we have not met. I play classical piano, and then I later learned jazz and improvisation. I'm not a concert pianist, but I have learned to play half a dozen etudes and memorize them, and so I'm not an expert at them, but I have successfully learned them and performed them in public. Thanks to a teacher from Juilliard that lived with me for a few months, gave me incredible lessons. So I'm just gonna basically show you how I whip one of these into shape, doing a lot of hands alone and at slow tempo, medium tempo. All right, here we go. That thing there, what Chopin's teaching you there is rocking of the wrist. Because if you try to do that with fingers, you're gonna get fatigued. So that's where this really is important. And he also teaches you that big time in the black key etude in G flat major. So if I have an area that's difficult, I'm gonna stop there and play that passage 10 times. That's what my teacher from Juilliard called that. When we first became friends, he saw that I was my first major error, and that is, he told me, quit practicing the straightaways, practice the corners, meaning just the difficult parts where you're getting hung up. So. And we're talking, when he said corners, he really meant corners. Like sometimes that could be 2 notes. Like this part is hard. So I'll sit there and do it 10 times until it gets loose and I'm not feeling that stiffness. Chopin was really big time into dealing with any tension and stiffness in the hands and relieving it and getting rid of it. That was one of the things he worked on when he had lessons one-on-one with people. You know, one thing also I love about this etude, it's my favorite etude for warming up because I can do hands low, and because this etude is a conversation. It goes the right hand, boogies, rests, it plays the quarter notes, the chords, and then the left hand's doing 16th notes. So back and forth, this cool conversation. And so it's a great way to just warm up one hand at a time and let the other one rest for a second while the other's working. Stiffness, so I'm going to do that 5 times. And I have more stiffness than the average bear because years ago I had surgery in this hand for carpal tunnel, and this left finger had just never been back to 100% normal since then. So I have to work extra hard at certain passages with the left hand. etude to make a fast, flexible left hand. Especially the revolutionary etude. He wrote that when his hometown, Warsaw, Poland was taken over in the revolutionary. Listen to that one, it's one of his masterpieces. Gorgeous melody. The left hand is hauling ass all the way through that thing. It's doing 16th notes all the way through, and man, that thing, you learn that, your left hand is going to be stronger than your right hand. It's going to pass it up. What a genius turnaround section. This is kind of the stuff that like a normal composer is not going to think of. Only a genius 20-year-old Frederick Chopin would, something like that came natural to his brain, but who's going to think of that? By the way, he wrote these etudes when he was like 20, I believe, 20, 18, something like that. This is a passage that is a little hard for me to get up to tempo, both hands together. So that's something I'm going to do like 100 times alone. Here on the right hand, notice on the top note of this pattern floating down, he holds a whole note while these other 16ths are doing that. And I think the reason why is it smooths out the passage, so you hear this melody while all this jumping is going on, so it doesn't sound like a bunch of, you know, gives it a nice legato. Or he did either to make it smoother or the melody, or being he was such a technique freak, he fortunate to hold that down to work certain fingers in certain positions. And by that holding that quarter note there, it forces your hand to stay down, making these harder. And he loved doing stuff like that. See like, this is my favorite passage coming up here. It sounds like this man climbing up a ladder, and then he slips and he goes like a cartoon, coming back down and just falls. That's the part where it sounds like he's falling down the ladder. So, what do we have there? We have a diminished seventh, right? But he drops this F down an octave. Makes it a much neater sound and pattern, open voicing. And then those are the target notes. So then there's a pattern, so it goes dun, dum, bum, bum, but full arpeggio. Now, if you try to muscle this and do it like all finger strength, you'll never get it. You have to whip it. It's like the C major, the first etude. The reason you can do that at such tempo is because after you master the arpeggios, you like whipping them instead of fingering and muscling them out. So here's if I fingered and muscle it. Good for your hand, but you'll never get the tempo that he's asking for if you play it that way. You need to whip it. And the right hand does this. It also outlines that diminished seventh shape. See, like right there, in the middle of this beautiful etude, he gives this, there's a miniature study right there, and that's doing the chromatic scale. Look how he works it. But it's musical, but he gets that into the composition, and that's the brilliantness of Chopin. Is his etudes, these are the only piano exercises that are performed in concert on the concert stage. Why? They do not sound like Hanon or Czerny exercises. They're beautiful pieces of music and masterpieces in piano technique. That's why it's very common for concert pianists for an encore to whip off one or two of these guys as an encore. They're the only exercise played in performance live in the concert hall because they're gorgeous. And who else could do that but Freddie? Not Freddie Krueger, but Freddie Chopin. Okay, sorry for getting sidetracked. Okay, where are we? So, oh yeah. Back to the top, letter A. So repeating the first motif. It gives it that coercion where it's like, hey, it's a song, it's a composition, it's not an exercise. We're repeating the theme ideas. Now here, instead of copying the rest of the motif, he alters it because now he's going to take this baby home. We're going to go to the coda. This sets up the coda right here, this long left-hand passage. And then here's a powerful 2-5-1 progression. But instead of in the bass doing 2-5-1, which would be D sharp minor, C sharp 7, C sharp minor, he goes D sharp minor to the 4th, but it's still a 2-5-1 progression. He's just changing the bass note. It sounds gorgeous. Or look, if we do it the standard jazz way. Anyway, just another tasteful way to do it. Okay, so after that long run, we got that 2-5-1. Then the coda, here we are, left hand first. Beat, beat, you have to whip this, like flip it. Beat, 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 bang, 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 bang. Listen to that major 7. It gives it tension. Beat, bang, 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 bang. Okay, so the right hand. passage for me, okay, you want to get it to the next position, get the hand there. Might be a good way to practice it. You know, Chopin does this a lot, you know, where he does these beautiful passages. He'll take a pattern and then repeat it. Bring it up an octave, 2 octaves, 3 octaves. I put that in my pop playing pop and rock music, and it works great. It's lovely, and it's kind of given me my own sound and signature on how I play pop music. All right, so that's it, man. We're at the end of October. Can this old geezer get this etude in shape at 64 years old? We will find out. And if I can, then it's good news, right? Then all us old geezers got something to do and to shine instead of whine. All right, have a great day. Roger Milky signing out here in Hua Hin, Thailand.